Hi guys, I hope you all doing great. Thanks for being with us. Let's continue for the next lesson, percentages. The primary purpose of this lesson is to make the concept of percentages fundamentally clear and straightforward. In this academic context, we treat percentages not as mysterious symbols, but as standard numbers wearing costumes. Mastering this relationship is critical. A failure to internalize these principles will make the study of algebra significantly more difficult in the future. Core definition. At its most basic level, a percentage is defined simply as per hundred. When you see a percentage, denoted by the percent symbol, it is mathematically identical to taking that value and dividing it by 100. For example, x% is exactly equal to x divided by 100. There is no hidden complexity or additional magic involved. Every single percentage problem you encounter, no matter how advanced it may appear, can be reduced to this single foundational operation. Essential conversions. To work efficiently with percentages, students must internalize common patterns rather than relying on blind memorization. Understanding the relationship between percentages, decimals, and fractions is essential because they are simply different ways of expressing the same value. 10% is equivalent to the decimal 0.1. 25% is equivalent to the decimal 0.25, which is the same as the fraction 1/4. 50% is equivalent to the decimal 0.5, representing exactly 1/2. 75% is equivalent to the decimal 0.75 or 3/4. 100% is equivalent to the whole number 1. The governing rules for moving between these forms are simple. To convert from a percent to a decimal, you divide by 100. Conversely, to move from a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. Finding a percentage of a quantity. When you need to determine a specific percentage of a total number, you follow a general rule that prioritizes clean, logical thinking. You first convert the percentage into its decimal form by dividing it by 100, and then you multiply that result by your total quantity. Example, find 20% of 50. First, divide 20 by 100 to get the decimal 0.2. Next, multiply 0.2 by 50. The result is 10. By following this step-by-step method, you ensure that your calculations remain grounded in arithmetic logic rather than shortcuts. Finding the original value, reverse percentage. This section addresses scenarios where a percentage of a number is already known, and you must work backward to find the original total. This is often where student confidence can falter if the underlying concepts are not firm. The general rule for finding the original value is to take the known part and divide it by the percentage expressed as a decimal. Example, 15 is 30% of what number? Convert the 30% into its decimal form, which is 0.3. Divide the part, 15, by that decimal 0.3. 15 divided by 0.3 equals 50. The original value is 50. Percentage increase and decrease. The ability to calculate changes in value is a vital skill used in finance, higher-level algebra, and daily life. The fundamental formula for determining a percentage change is the amount of change divided by the original value, with the result multiplied by 100 to reach a percentage. Example, a price increases from 80 to 100. Determine the change. 100 minus 80 equals 20. Divide that change by the original price. 20 divided by 80 equals 0.25. Convert the result to a percentage. 0.25 times 100 equals a 25% increase. It is imperative to remember that you must always compare the change to the original value, never the final one. Common errors to avoid. To ensure your learning is effective, you must explicitly avoid these frequent mistakes. Adding percentages incorrectly. Percentages are often multiplied or used as factors. Do not simply add them as if they were independent units. Forgetting the division step, you must always remember that a percent is a value per hundred. Mistreating the percent symbol. Do not treat the percent sign as a unit like meters or grams. It is a mathematical operation. Mixing logic types. Do not randomly jump between fraction and decimal logic mid-problem. Consistency is key. Exercise module. These exercises serve as diagnostics for your understanding. If you find yourself hesitating, it is a sign that you should review the previous sections. Here are the first 4 challenges. Question 1. Find 25% of 200. Tests basic percentage of a quantity. Question 2. Convert the decimal 0.6 to a percentage. Tests conversion rules. Question 345 is 30% of what number? Tests reverse percentage logic. Question 4. Increase the number 120 by 10%. Tests percentage increase. I strongly encourage you to complete the remaining diagnostic exercise. A price drops from 150 to 120. Find the percentage decrease. Identifying whether you can solve these surgical problems without hesitation will confirm your mastery. In summary, a percentage is simply a number out of 100. Every percentage problem can be solved by dividing by 100 and multiplying. Understand that fractions, decimals, and percentages are merely different forms of the same value. When finding a percentage, you multiply. When reversing a percentage, you divide. Most importantly, remember that percentage increase and decrease must always be compared to the original value. You have now demystified percentages and learned to see them as the numbers they truly are. You can now calculate growth, find original values, and navigate conversions with ease. However, numbers don't just relate to each other through hundreds or ratios. Sometimes, we need to understand the seeds that make up a number, the smaller values that multiply together to create it. We also need to understand how numbers grow through repeated multiplication. See you in our next lesson, Lesson 3, Powers and Exponents. Bye-bye.